Good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard. We're going to call this meeting of the school committee to order. The time is 6:05 p.m. on Monday, May 5th, 2025. Our next meeting will take place on Monday, June 9th at 6 p.m. here in the council chamber. So tonight we will begin, as we always do, by pledging allegiance to our flag. We'll then have a moment of silence for our veterans. Our clerk, to my right, to your left, will take attendance to ensure that we have a quorum sufficient to allow us to come together this evening. Then we'll get into this evening's agenda. It consists of these 7 items. First is we're going to approve the minutes from April 7th, which was our last meeting. Then we were going to take public comment, but we thought when we saw that we had Claire Johnston and Hazel Queen here, we would move them up. They take precedent, and you'll see why when we hear about their amazing stories. So they will come before public comment. Then we'll have public comment, and that's an opportunity for members to address the public. Then from there, we're going to hear from our school superintendent, who's going to continue to talk about the entry plan that he's been working on. Then after that, item 4, we're going to take up a discussion from Ms. Spatafora, who's leading our negotiation subcommittee. Then item 5, we have 5 motions and resolutions. The first one is with Ms. Spatafora as well. That will be regarding our food services contract. And then we will look at students' enrollment of school department personnel, and Ms. Spatafora will lead that as well. The next 3 items will come from Mr. McCarthy in lieu of Ms. Rose Iberg, who couldn't be with us this evening. Those 3 items are around the assignment of students to schools. Then from there, we're going to move to personal privilege. That's an opportunity for members of the school committee to let the public know what's happening across the city in our school district. And then from there, we'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for 3 reasons. The first is just to approve our minutes from April 7th. The second reason is to discuss an open meeting law complaint dated April 2nd, 2025, filed by Bruce Friedman against the Malden School Committee. And then finally, we're going to continue discussion with respect to collective bargaining with the Malden Education Association Units A, B, and C. Then we'll come back out from executive session to adjourn. So are there any questions of the members? If not, let's pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And again, at this point, we ask everyone to please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of all those who have fought for our country and continue to do so today. Thank you. We'll now have our clerk take attendance.
Mayor Christensen?
Here.
Mr. Drummy? Here. Mr. McCarthy? Here. Ms. Spatafora?
Here.
Ms. Macklin?
Here.
Ms. Horty?
Here.
Mr. Gray?
Here.
Mr. Bernard?
Here.
Ms. Rose Iberg? Superintendent Sipple?
Sure. So we have a quorum sufficient to allow us to come together this evening. We'll now take a look at these minutes from April 7th, 2025. Any questions, queries, qualms, concerns? Motion by Mr. Drummy, seconded by Mr. McCarthy. Now, because we have a member coming to us via Teams, we have to take a roll call on all the items we vote on this evening. Normally, we would just do a voice vote. So no remaining questions. Clerk will call the roll.
Mayor Christensen?
Yes.
Mr. Drummy?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Horty?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Bernard? Yes. Ms. Rose Iberg?
That carries unanimously. Now, as I mentioned previously, we're going to take up a few citations here because we believe this will be the highlight of our meeting. As a matter of fact, we might just adjourn after we do these citations. So to help us with that, we're going to have our school superintendent lead the school committee.
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor Christensen and members of the committee, members of the public. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And as Mayor Christensen said, we're delighted to begin tonight's meeting recognizing two of our students who have been recognized in regional competitions for their artistic ability and the work that they've done recently. And those two people are Claire Johnston, who is a student at Forestdale Elementary, and we also have Hazel Queen, who's a student at Malden High School. And we're going to start with Claire, and I'm going to invite her teacher, Chelsea Powell, to come up and say a few words about the competition that she recently won and the honor that she's very deserving of. Thank you, Ms. Powell.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited to introduce this very talented fifth grader from Forestdale, Claire Johnston, who recently won first place in a statewide DCR art contest. For this contest, Claire created a beautifully drawn poster for Arbor Day, which shows the positive impact that trees have on our community. And I've had Claire in art class since she was in first grade, and she has always just been so creative, so hardworking. So this award is so well-deserved, and I'm so proud of Claire for this achievement. So congratulations, Claire.
Very good. And maybe I'll just let Mr. Tanetta speak about our other winner, and then we can have them come up one at a time with their families for a photo. So we have Gerard Tanetta, who is our District Director of Social Studies and also Visual and Performing Arts. And he's going to share a little bit about the honor that Hazel won.
Yes, thank you. Hazel Queen is a 9th grader at Malden High School. And she recently submitted artwork for a congressional art competition sponsored by Catherine Clark's office. And she was the winner in our congressional district. Her artwork will be on display at the Capitol for 1 year. And she also will be getting a trip to DC to be able to honor her art and see it at the Capitol. So we're really excited. She's only in 9th grade, and we hope there are many more great pieces of art that we will have in Malden High from her.
Right, well, if the chair would please the chair, we could perhaps take a brief recess just to allow the families and representatives from the school to come up and take a picture with our artist from Forestdale, and then we'll do the same for our artist from Malden High, and would appreciate that.
School committee will be in a brief recess.
So, Claire, if you want to come up with your family, and Mr. Weldy, if you want to facilitate.
I bet there's like.
Great, thank you. There's some more here.
All right. There we go. Thank you.
Oh, oops. Claire?
What's that? Okay, we're now distributing the official citation. All right, school committee is now back. And let's go to our school superintendent. Oh.
All right. Well, thank you again for that. It's a wonderful way to start the meeting. Going to be just bringing to you an update on our entry plan. As I've shared throughout the year, the core values that are really guiding our work are to include and collaborate, to make sure that people are included in the decisions that impact them, and to make sure that all the voices that should be at the table are included so that we can make the best decisions possible. We want to embrace growth, meaning that we're not, it's not so much about where we are at this moment, but where we are and the capacity that we have to build on from where we are, both as students, but also as a district, how we're, the path that we're on and not where we are at this today. And then lastly, to do right by all kids. We are very, very fortunate in Malden to have so many parents and other groups in the city who advocate for the welfare of our students. And we have some students who, at this time, don't have anyone to advocate for them. And so our responsibility is to make sure that all of them are getting what they deserve. Throughout the course of the year, as you will recall, since last summer, I spent the first 3 months immersing myself in the community, getting out into various community events and meeting as many people as I could while schools were not in session. Then phases 2 and phase 3 were both concurrent, where I spent a lot of time, as you will recall, in town hall meetings with parents and caregivers, but then also spending time in listening sessions with members of our staff at all of our buildings, all of our schools, and really hearing what they thought the strengths of the district were, but also the areas that they thought needed to grow. And then spending time in classrooms and in schools and at school events, observing our students in action, observing our teachers in action throughout the year. And as you're aware, I've been in well over 400 classrooms since the beginning of the year, and there's a lot of great things happening in Malden Public Schools. Since December, we've really been analyzing and beginning to share back some of the highlights of the findings from, or initial emerging findings from my entry plan, and we've had a series of feedback sessions with parents and caregivers to really ensure that what we've heard resonates with them. And now we're beginning to take those findings and begin to chart the future of Malden Public Schools, which is what I'll be sharing about tonight. So we're going to be again, resharing what those areas for collective action are that I mentioned over the last 2 meetings, that have been confirmed in our feedback sessions with our staff. We're going to be talking about a district academic priority that we've spent the last several months refining with our district-wide leadership team. We'll be talking about how that academic priority, along with other areas, is going to be really framing the school improvement plans that you'll be hearing from our schools in June. And then a little bit about the strategy for district improvement and the FY26 budget that all of this will be leading to with the next steps for next year. So in the last 2 meetings, I've been sharing with you the findings from our entry plan that have highlighted 6 areas for collective action that have really come up again and again and again from my meetings with caregivers and parents, and also with staff throughout the year. And as I've gone into those feedback sessions, again, these areas for collective action have been confirmed as things that we need to focus on. One is affirming high expectations for all of our students, to make sure that every single one of our students has the opportunity to do whatever they would like to do when they finish high school, that we don't choose for them what their aspirations should be, but our job is to make sure that they're prepared to reach those aspirations, whatever they might be. And so for those students who want to go on to a 4-year university or go on to graduate school from there, go on to a doctorate, or want to start a new company, or whatever they want to do, we want to make sure that they have the preparation to be able to go off and do that. And if they choose not to, that's totally fine, but it should not be because they haven't been prepared to do whatever they want to do. So that's the high expectations for all. Adapting instruction to meet diverse needs. Throughout all of my meetings and throughout our analysis of data, we have seen that our students with disabilities and our students who are learning English in particular are not achieving as we want them to. We need to have high expectations for them, but we also need to adapt what we do in the classroom to make sure that those students are being supported to achieve what they are able to achieve. And then another group in that category is students who are advanced learners and who are ready for more challenge, and we want to make sure that they're not being held back because our expectations are too low. Ensuring fair access to opportunities. A lot of this, there's 2 dimensions to this. On one hand, is making sure that in our K-8 schools, across all of the K-8 schools, students have access to the same kinds of opportunities regardless of which school they attend. And then in the high school, that students have access to a full schedule of classes, that they have access to all of the extracurricular activities, all of the advanced classes, AP classes, honors classes, elective classes, that the access to those classes is not limited to students who meet a certain profile. We want to make sure that they're accessible to all of our students. Partnering with our families effectively. As you know, we are in the process of rolling out a new communications platform. We have a new website coming soon. We have a lot of work that's been done to streamline our communications and improve our communications with families. And then we're also really working with our stakeholders, both our English Learner Parent Advisory Committee, our Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, and helping all of our schools to strengthen their school councils as well as working with our fabulous parents who are part of the parent-teachers organizations at all of our schools, and helping those just be stronger at each building and coordinate our efforts across the district. We're nurturing a strong workforce, getting out and recruiting teachers for vacancies that are confirmed for next year. We've already started to hire people for next year, which is exciting. And we are really working to also make sure that we're nurturing a collaborative space in each school building so teachers feel like they have a stake in what we're doing and they want to stay and work for Malden Public Schools. And lastly, building strength and stability for the district, and more than anything, we want to be very wise in how we use our resources so that over the long term, we have a strong foundation financially, organizationally, and we can be sure that we have that we're solid and we can confront the challenges that are undoubtedly going to face us in the future. So I want to just quickly dig into this district academic priority. Starting back in January, our Malden leadership team has been collaboratively working together to really hone in on a priority for our district in terms of academics for next school year, for 25-26. And just so you know, every month, once a month, all of our principals, all of our assistant principals, all of the directors from across the district gather together, and we go from building to building. This meeting was in the library at Beebe, and we really work and look at how our students, what they're seeing in classroom observations. We look at our mid-year data to look on how students are showing their achievement on assessments and to what degree they're growing in their assessments. And then lastly, trends from teacher coaching and professional learning. And that mid-year data are some of the data that Assistant Superintendent Bassine presented at our last meeting. From that, what we've really established as a priority for next year is to ensure that our students are doing the heavy lifting in classrooms, that we have high expectations for all of them, and that every classroom, in every lesson, students will be reading and writing, they'll be questioning and discussing with peers, they'll be considering and debating the ideas of others, and we really believe that if they're engaged in these ways, they'll actually enjoy their learning also. They'll feel respected, and they'll feel empowered, and they'll feel like they're really growing in both their capacity to learn and also in their peers' capacity to engage with one another. So to that end, we have school improvement plans, and these areas for collective action that I mentioned, high expectations for all the way through strength and stability, these are reflected and aligned with the various parts of the school improvement plan that you'll be seeing that'll be brought to school committee next month. You'll have the academic priority, and each school will be presenting how they're going to be working on that academic priority. We'll be talking about interventions and what steps each school is taking to make sure that students who need more help are getting it within the school day, how the school schedule is being adjusted and intentionally designed to make sure that all students get what they need, how we're supporting positive school attendance and growth in attendance for students that need to be in school more regularly, what professional development is being planned to make sure that teachers have the capacity and all the resources and the knowledge and skills to be able to do right by their students, and how resources are being allocated in order to make all of it happen. So these school improvement plans, again, will be coming forward in June, at the June meeting, and our school leaders will be excited to share with you in each building how these things are playing out for their students and for their communities. And so that's what they're working on now. Was last Wednesday, I'm looking at Mr. Weldyke because he's sitting right there, standing in for all of his colleagues. All of our schools are finishing their last steps and finalizing those improvement plans throughout May. And leaders will be incorporating feedback from students, staff, and school councils into the refining of those plans that they'll be presenting here in June. We'll be working with those plans, but overall, we're working towards, in those areas for collective action, to develop and present a strategy for district improvement that's aligned with our fiscal 26 budget that will also be coming forward to you next month. And then we'll be working on developing a comprehensive and revisiting our comprehensive strategic plan for next year. And so that's what I have for you tonight as far as the entry plan update. And thank you for listening, and invite your questions.
Questions of our superintendent. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. I must, I must apologize because I went out of order on the agenda, and the vice chair caught me doing that. Hopefully this does not garner an open meeting law violation. So we were supposed to go to public comment, and we will do so now. I apologize for that. So now is an opportunity for members of the public to address the school committee. They only have to state their name and address for the record. And public comment will now be open for 12 minutes. You can speak up to 3 minutes. Anybody wishing to address the school committee can do so now. You can do that here or via Teams. Anybody on your end? All right, seeing none. Okay, if we missed you on Teams, just please reach out to us after the meeting. We're using a new system tonight, but we're pretty confident that we would see something on the raised hand feature, and we don't see it. So, all right, we're going to close public comment. Now let's go to Ms. Spatafora on negotiations. Find out how we're doing there. I'm going to turn the light on. Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. See how we're doing here? I think we're doing well, actually. Negotiation Subcommittee met on April 10th for our 5th session, and I would say probably our most productive session thus far. We provided economic responses to the MEA's financial proposals. So hopefully our next session on May 7th will probably have some counters, I'm assuming. We do have some tentative agreements in place thus far, which is really exciting, including some new start and end times to our K-8 schools. We have a tentative agreement for 30 minutes of recess for our K-6 students. A tentative on the elimination of the professional development half-days that you see every month. It's usually one's coming up on Wednesday. The professional development will be built in to the schedules. There's also a few days at the beginning of the school year where educators come in before the start, before students arrive. One of those days is professional development. Those looking to maybe travel a little bit earlier around Thanksgiving will note that the day before Thanksgiving is now going to be a no-school day. So we're chugging along. Our next session is this Wednesday, May 7th, 5:30 p.m. in the Malden High School Gallery. We're unfortunately unable to secure this room, so we will be, if you're familiar with the high school, it is open to the public. You can utilize the Prescott Street entrance to access the gallery. And we do have, I believe, 4 more sessions on the books, and I'm really hoping that we can move right into summer and not need any more sessions.
Okay. Any questions of the chair? Okay, thank you for that update. Now let's, I'm sorry, did you have a question, Ms. Orty?
Just a quick one. You mentioned that the day before Thanksgiving, the proposal was for a no school day. That's also a no professional development day, just for clarification?
So that'll be a complete no school for students or educators. Educators will also have that day off as well.
Okay.
And if I might add, the day before winter break will be a half day. And I believe it was Good Friday would be, and the last day of school, half day. So
Tentative.
those, tentative, yeah.
These
All
are the
TAs.
proposals.
No, these are all TAs that
Okay.
both sides have agreed. So tentative.
It's got to be ratified
It
on
still
their
has to
end,
be,
voted
yeah.
on by us.
So, but everybody's saying this sounds good.
Awesome. Just wanted to clarify the differences
Yeah.
there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So,
Oh, no, I'm just going to add that I believe, Madam Vice Chair, it's a K-6 for sure is the tentative agreement on those. And then I think we still have some, anyway, we still have some other grade levels that haven't yet fully, on the half days anyway, we haven't.
K through 6, I'm
Right,
sorry,
yeah.
did I say, okay,
That's okay.
my apologies.
No, you're good.
Okay, very good. Now, motions and resolutions. Let's talk about this food services contract. Once again, let's stay with Ms. Spatafora on this.
So, we entered into a 3-year contract with Aramark back in 2022, and they have been absolutely fantastic. So when this, there is a new process within the state. Usually, in the past, we would put out an RFP, but now DESE is they're pretty much running the show. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily, takes a little bit off of our end. So when this RFP was put out, only one vendor actually did respond, and that was Aramark, whom we have had. We have really minimal to no complaints with the services. And so this contract would be for Aramark to continue to provide our food services. It's a 1-year contract with an additional 3 1-year rollovers into it. So, and I will say there's no financial number associated with it because we do qualify for free universal food services. So, financially, there's no financial approval on this. Would just be an approval to enter into contract with Aramark.
There you have it, everyone. Motion?
Motion.
Is there a second for purposes of discussion? Mr. Drummy seconded that. Any questions, queries, qualms, concerns? Ms. Horty?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to clarify, because I know that this was brought up at public comment recently, and I don't know that if this is an Aramark thing or if this is a Malden food service worker issue. I believe during public comment, and I've noticed this as well as someone who works in a different school system, that the serving size doesn't always coordinate with the age of the student, for lack of a better term. I guess I can say age, because we know obviously that some like 5th graders are bigger than others, that sort of thing. But I know that that was a concern that was brought up. It's a concern that I see all the time as well. But I don't know that that's an Aramark concern, and I don't know if anybody has any understanding if we should be having that discussion with them or if there's another place that we have that discussion. That's my only concern about.
Ms.
Yes.
Spatafora?
Yeah, so funny you say that. I was with the superintendent last week touring the Salem Wood, and at lunchtime, we decided to pop in, and I said, hold on, we stood next to the trash barrel for a moment and watched the kindergartners that were just finishing up. And specifically, I was like, there goes a chicken sandwich, there goes a chicken sandwich. And they had like tiny little bites out. So it was clear that our littlest learners are not finishing their lunches, and vice versa. Our oldest students are growing and need more. Is this an Aramark issue? I don't think so. Yeah, Ms. Martz, because we've had this conversation. Do you mind if I put the spotlight on you for a moment?
So the serving sizes are from the federal government. It's not age-based, it's from the federal government. They tell us what the serving sizes are for each of the students.
Ms. Horty, you done, or?
I guess so.
So I'm going to jump to,
Just like the chocolate milk that I can't serve anymore.
let me go to,
Yes.
let's go
Okay,
to,
I'll serve chocolate milk.
let's go to Ms. Macklin.
I'm just wondering if anyone knows, are the students able to go back for second helpings?
If they go back for
do we permit-
seconds, yeah, they would have to pay for that portion.
They would. Okay. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? So we have a motion on the floor. Clerk will call the roll. Let me just get you.
Mayor Christensen?
Yes.
Mr. Drummy? Yes. Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Horty?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Bernard?
All right,
Ms.
that-
Rose, oh, sorry. Go ahead. Ms. Rosenberg?
That carries unanimously. All right, now, students' enrollment of school department personnel. Ms. Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just to remind the members that we have a policy that does allow for educators or employees to be able to enroll students in the district if they live outside of Malden, barring that they meet the qualifications, one being employed in the district for 3+ years. They submit their request before May 15th, so here we are on May 5th. I'm trying to think what the other qualifications are. I think that might be permanent employee. So we have 3 requests before us, and I say 3 requests. 3 requests, one is for 2 students for 1 employee. 2 of these are more administrative requests, and 1 is a brand-new request. So for 1, and everybody should have received that email with the documentation, we have an ELC student that is currently already attending the ELC, would just like to stay at the ELC. We kind of handle the ELC differently because it is tuition-based, and this educator does handle tuition. So they're just looking to keep their students at ELC for 1 more year. The next 2, one is a Malden High School student and the other one is a Ferryway student. These were actually approved under a hardship clause by the superintendent, and we would like to actually roll them off of a hardship clause and more fall under the general umbrella of the policy, where they probably should be. And then the final is a brand new request for a educator whose student would be placed at the Forestdale in 6th grade. This educator has been with us for, I believe, 12 years, met the qualifications to submit in writing to the school committee and the superintendent by May 15th, and we do have space in the program. So I would recommend that we approve this entire packet of requests, and at that point, we would be completely full at our max.
All right, questions before we entertain a motion? Hearing none, motion by Ms. Spatafora, seconded by Mr. Bernard. Any questions, queries, qualms, concerns? Hearing none? Oh, I'm sorry. I have you in the wrong light. There we go. Do I have it on? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question. You mentioned that there was a cap on this, Ms. Spatafora?
5.
5, and we had previously approved someone. Is that what I'm seeing from some of the notes for this?
Yep. So that previous
Okay.
approval is just showcasing, we have one already in the system that was approved back in 2019. Other than that, we don't have any others.
So, do you have to reapply for this once this happens, each year? Or was that just because one of those was a hardship?
So the ELC. Oh, thank you. So the ELC, they do apply because technically it's tuition-based, and if they want to then move into the district, so we will approve ELC on a yearly. The other 2, because they were approved under the hardship, and it was after, we had received it after the date, it was like September or almost October.
Oh, yes, I remember.
So, housekeeping-wise, I think these 2 belong under the general policy standard umbrella.
Yep.
And then the last one, like I said, was pretty straightforward. That's a brand-new one, so.
Okay.
But once in, they don't have to reapply every year.
Okay.
Any educator is there in the district until they graduate or if they move out of the district.
So we would be at max for next year unless,
So one of these will be graduating next year,
okay,
so that will then open up a spot.
gotcha. Okay.
And then if anybody was to move or educator no longer wants to work in Malden, I don't know why, but that would open up a space unless this committee ever decided that we wanted to increase that number, change the policy, but
Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Thank
Sure.
you.
Thank you. Clerk will call the roll.
Mayor Christensen,
Yes.
Mr. Drummy? Yes. Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora?
yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Horty?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Thumbs up.
Mr. Bernard? Yes. Ms. Rosehiber?
Okay, that carries unanimously. Now, the next three items will be led by Mr. McCarthy. This is regarding the assignment of students to schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On April 28th, the Policy and Procedure Subcommittee met on two items. The first one is in regards to a proposed policy change when it comes to JCA, assignment of students to schools. We had a lengthy discussion in the subcommittee when it comes to this. This would essentially change for, attendance areas. The map that's in the packet is clearly delineates where these specific areas are. And I'll just read the portion of the proposed policy so everyone can get an idea. Attendance areas for the various schools of the city will be drawn by the superintendent and approved by the school committee. Students will be assigned to the school within their attendance areas that's on the map where they reside, effective May 15th, 2025. All new students to the Malden Public Schools, when this policy goes into effect, will be allowed to remain in the presently assigned schools. So students that are currently assigned at their schools now will not be affected by this. It's only for new students that are coming into Malden. And this would go into effect on May 15th if it's voted on and approved here tonight. It was voted out unanimously by the subcommittee 3-0 with one member absent. In attendance was the superintendent, Assistant Superintendent McDonald, and Joan Federico from the Welcome Center. So tonight, I don't know if Mr. Bernard wants to add anything to this, because he's on the subcommittee as well. I'll defer to him if you have anything to add.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to add, Mr. Bernard? Okay. Okay.
If you can't answer a question, I can jump in. So.
All right, so Mr. McCarthy, item 3,
Yep.
you want to take them separately, I presume. So you're making that motion seconded by Mr. Bernard?
Yeah, sure. I'll make a motion to approve the
This is policy JCA?
JCA assignment of students to schools
Okay.
as presented.
All right, let's see what the members have to say about this. Any questions about it, everyone? It's been in your packet. Ms. Spatafora?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just out of curiosity, why May 15th?
Mr.
I'll
McCarthy?
defer to the superintendent.
1 second, Sue. There we go.
There is a date for parents to apply for changes for voluntary transfers each year, and that typically is May 15th, and so we just wanted to coincide. And since the committee was meeting on May 5th, with May 15th just felt like a safe date. We do have students who have already applied for kindergarten next year who are waiting to hear what schools they'll be assigned to, and so we also just want to get them an answer earlier than later. And also, for our students at the ELC, we have planned, in the works, plans to have a welcome to your new school day, and we're hoping to have staff maybe principals from the 5 K-8 schools converge on the ELC to greet their students at some point later this spring.
So if somebody came to the district tomorrow, brand new and registered, technically this isn't in effect yet.
So they would, thank you for the question, Ms. Chair, or Vice Chair.
Okay, I'll take care.
Sorry,
No, it's
Mr.
okay.
Chair, sorry, Mr. Chair.
Most refer to her. That's all.
The idea is that these, all the assignments for next school year would be informed by this policy. And so, but there, no one would be informed of that school assignment until after May 15th.
Okay. And
I
then
think that makes sense.
just in regards to the map, are there any district lines that split streets? So if I had a friend of my child that lives across the street, are there chances that that student could go to another school from a friend? So there's none that split streets, because I know we split ward maps for the city.
Gonna
I have
invite
people that live
Assistant
across the street
Superintendent
that can't
McDonald to
vote
come
for
up
me.
on that.
So I do have to give Steve Pham a shout out because he's helped us with this map. He has cleaned it up and it might be cleaner than the version you have. And it the big one was, is it Bainburn?
Bainbridge?
Yes.
Bainbridge.
That one
That's her.
is a long one that is basically a splitting sections. And we have included both sides of the street in Forestdale for that. Most of the other ones were easier because 60 here, there's not a ton of residential where we split it. So Steve and I worked really hard to sort of look at those lines. There were other places that it was 99 was a natural split. And so we mostly have the whole street in the section. 60 over here it is not, but it's all commercial, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Okay. Yeah.
And currently, just so you know, currently you can look at the map, we have students that you could have 5 houses across the street next to each other and they go to our 5 different schools. So this is an attempt to get back to a neighborhood, more of a neighborhood school like you're talking about.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none. Did you have one, Ms. Horty? I'm sorry. Let's go to Ms. Horty, then we'll go to Ms. Macklin.
Sorry, I just want to clarify, because I had the same question that you did, Ms. Spatafora, especially because this had come up in some constituent emails and things like that previously for people that were concerned. And this does happen with the ward line, my Ward 5 line, half one side of the street is for me and another side is for Mr. Gray. So, this big concern for us, right? That being said, if for some reason it sounds like, Mrs. McDonald, that you guys worked to not have this issue. If this issue does come up, let's say, in one of these areas that isn't super heavily populated, but maybe, there's a building there or something, or a multifamily where a family moves in, what would their process be? Would their process be different to, let's say, request to go to the same school that their neighbors go at? I know that this is like I said, this is a common issue because we've gotten emails before, especially about exactly what we want, which is groups of kids of multi-ages walking to school together safely,
So because we've included the streets together, we're hoping that it'll change that. Like I've said, the beginning of the year, there was a lot of people who wanted BB for K, and I had someone who was assigned to BB, but her neighbor was assigned to Forestdale, and she had little ones, and she emailed halfway through September saying, I'd really rather be at Forestdale because my neighbors are going to Forestdale. So this is an attempt to eliminate that exact problem. And so we tried really, really hard to keep neighborhoods together. Like I said, I worked with Steve Fama, who knows the city very well, and we tweaked some lines to make sure that neighborhoods were really kept together.
if they're not? What's the procedure?
There is, if you look, there is a superintendent's appeal where they can appeal to ask to go to a different school. So we do have that in the policy to give us a little bit of flexibility to meet families' needs. Because that's what this is an attempt to do, to be more sort of meeting families where they are and what they need.
Okay, thank you.
Over to Ms. Macklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excuse me. Just the part where it says students currently enrolled in the Malden Public Schools, when the policy goes into effect, will be allowed to remain in their presently assigned schools. Was that just for the current year, or will that be throughout their time at Malden Public?
I think it'll be throughout. I mean,
Yeah.
if they would like a transfer, we can look into that, but we don't have any intention of uprooting families from the schools that they're at.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, just to address that, because we did have a conversation about that. We're trying to go and split the balance of letting our kids go to school with their neighbors and people that they've grown up with. And also not trying to go and split up kids that have gotten very used to going to BB or going to Forestdale or going to, Ferryway, and that's where all their friends are. Malden is probably one of the biggest little cities that we've got. We've got a lot of people in a very small area, so it's not unusual for people to go and have friends at the other end of town. But yeah, we'd like everyone from on the different sides of the street to be able to go and say, oh, hey, what do you got for English,
all right, very good. Motion was made, seconded. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Chair, just really quick, I just want to clarify, this is strictly the policy.
Yes.
And then the
Yes.
second one, yeah.
Yeah. Take it away.
Mayor Christensen?
Yes.
Mr. Drummey? Yes. Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Horty?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Thumbs up.
Mr. Bernard?
yes.
Ms. Roseisberg?
All right, that carries unanimously. Staying with Mr. McCarthy. Now, this is the proposed area map.
Yeah, this is the attendance map that I was talking about when it comes to the delineated lines in the different areas. That's up on the screen right now. This is clearly, breaks it down into the different areas, for Salemwood, Linden, Forestdale, et cetera.
Okay.
So this is what it would look like, and that would be shown to people, new families that are coming in, and just to kind of give them an idea as to where they would be going to school. So I'm making a motion
To approve the map.
to approve the map as presented.
Seconded by Mr. Bernard. Any questions, queries, qualms of the members? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Mayor Christensen?
Yes.
Mr. Drummey?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Horty?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Bernard?
Yes.
Ms. Roseisberg?
All right, that carries unanimously. And then the last motion is led by Mr. McCarthy. This is about the admission of non-resident students. Tell us about that.
Yep, so this is the second policy proposal that we discussed on April 28th in Policy and Procedure. This is the proposed policy for JFAB, admission of non-resident students. This is strictly for 12th graders here in the district that, unfortunately may have to move out of the city for some reason, out of their control. So this is what the policy says. Currently enrolled 12th grade students at Malden High School who relocate from the city of Malden and wish to finish school year with MPS may request to do so in writing to the superintendent or designee for the remainder of the current academic year only. Students must inform the district of their new address within 5 days of their moving date. District administration may grant requests for the remainder of the school year only. If continued attendance is granted, transportation will not be provided by MPS. And this, obviously, like I said before, applies to the 12th graders here in the city. And it doesn't apply to siblings that are non-12th graders, so 11, 10, and 9th grade.
Okay, very good. Motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the proposed policy JFAB as presented.
Seconded by Mr. Bernard. All right, questions of the team. Let's start with Ms. Horty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Why are we only doing this for 12th graders?
1 second there. Can you press? Hold on 1 second now. Press it again and then. Okay, let me try yours. Okay, try it now. Oh, yours should work.
There, yeah?
Yeah, you were right.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry
No,
about
thank,
that.
thank you know who.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Why are we only doing this for 12th graders? Because when I'm looking at this, I'm saying absolutely the 12th grader 100% should finish. They've been in our district forever. But we're making that impossible if this person has younger siblings. Why isn't this just afforded to a family to finish the year?
Okay, Mr. McCarthy? Did that come up during your deliberations?
Yeah, it did. So actually to Assistant Superintendent McDonald, we did talk about that a little bit, and they did make mention of, it actually is a lot more difficult for a 12th grader that moves out of the city and, is having academic issues, and actually to keep them here and give them the opportunity to be able to, in writing, give them an opportunity to stay here and graduate. Ninth grader, 10th grader, 11th grader really doesn't, they're trying to get used to a new environment within a school. A 12th grader's had 4 years here, and it's actually percentage-wise of them graduating in 12th grade, moving out of district, and not staying in the place where they've been for 4 years, is actually a lot higher than it would be for a 9th grader that's trying to figure everything out.
It also sounds like you had to draw the line somewhere.
100%.
All right, Ms. Horty?
I politely disagree. I agree 100% with the fact that seniors in high school should be allowed to finish the year here, period, the end. But I also think when we have in the policy that, transportation is going to be provided, all that stuff that I agree with entirely. If I'm a parent, I have a 6th grader, a 10th grader, a 12th grader, let's say. I would like if one of my children is going to finish the year, I would like all of my children to finish the school calendar year together, and then everybody, aside from my senior who's moving on to bigger and better things, and then everyone starts fresh at the beginning of the year. I'm just wondering if that could be something that, how much that was discussed.
What was the vote of the subcommittee?
The vote was 3-0 with 1 absent.
Okay. All right, let's take some other, are you done, Ms. Horty? I want to take some other comments. I want to see what people think of what you had to say. So, Ms. Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm going to go to my question first. And it was more or less relates to the wording of the policy is if they move in 12th grade. I'm just curious if a student moves in the summer leading up to 12th grade, can they still stay? Or is it like if they move after the first day of school?
And Mr. McCarthy?
Yeah, so they are allowed to stay within the, if they move, say during the summertime, they can submit in writing that they have intent to stay here, if they want to stay here, and finish out the year. So yes.
Okay.
Okay. We may want to just put that wording in the policy, because it says currently enrolled 12th grade students, so I just don't know how we may want that to reflect students, so they know that they can not necessarily enroll in a new district, but they'd be okay here. Ms. Horty, your question, though, has been brought up numerous times, because we've had this issue come up where students are moving mid-school year, and the financial implication it is to the district for us to continuously pay for students that don't live here, aren't residents. I think I see your logic, though, when it comes to siblings. I feel like you're questioning, if I have 3 kids and one is staying, but the other 2 have to enroll. And I think really where we're looking at the standpoint is the student that has spent that, like, gearing up towards graduation and to be able to walk the field with their peers rather than with people that they're just getting to know. So I hear you. It's just, I don't think it's financially feasible for us to say, okay, I have maybe 3 seniors that are, that have moved. Families had to move out of the city, and they have each 4 siblings. I'm just saying this is a what if. To now have 12 students that don't live in this city be able to get the education that I'm not getting reimbursed necessarily for. And I say me,
All right, other comments? Who hasn't spoken that wishes to? Anyone? Okay, back to you, Ms. Horty.
So, I understand what you're saying, but I also know that DESI cut off at the beginning of the year is October 1. And I think, I don't know, you number crunchers in the the administrative office can let us know how much of this actually happens before October 1st. So that was a question that I had also, like, so are these students already on our books and we've already accounted for them, 1? But also, I don't like to ever think negatively of anybody. However, I feel like we're setting up a situation that is, yes, your senior can stay, no, your other kids can't. I'm not going to tell them then. Meaning, like, I'm not going to tell the district. Again, I'm not saying that people do that. I'm not thinking poorly of anyone, but I'm saying that if we write this in such a way that people feel comfortable telling us the truth and don't feel like they need to maneuver something because of the rest of their family. I want this to be as seamless and as easy for people as possible. And reading this as, I'm not in that position. My children are in the same grade. I'm a very weird outlier, but most people have children in different grades. And that immediately pops to me and says, what are you gonna do in that situation? I feel like we put people's back up against the wall when we don't necessarily need to. I do agree with your financial implication. However, I'd love to know those numbers.
Okay, Ms. Macklin, and then over to Mr. Bernard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to say, I was actually not present for the last policy meeting. I was on vacation. However, the one prior to that, we did discuss the DESI the financial implication. And we do realize that October 1st is the cutoff. However, in the district, we get so many more students that we don't get financial support for after October 1st as well. So I think it kind of washes in a sense. I had another point, but come back to me.
Mr. Bernard.
Just escaped me.
Yeah, not to dogpile, but we did have very thorough discussions on this, and I empathize with any family out there that, they have multiple kids and multiple grades. The chair said it, like, we do have to go and draw the line. There are financial implications. And, again, because I'm going to say this, we're a big little city. We have a lot of people that, through no fault of their own, might be transient. And we have certainly had cases in the past where people have already gone in and tried to kind of game the system. And they're going to continue to try and game the system. That being said, I think this policy is kind of it's one of those compromises that no one loves, but I think it's gonna go and work out for us in the future. Simply like going and having something in writing, like if we have a senior, they can stay, give it to us in writing, and we're sorry that your other kids, if you have 10 kids in the school, you're going to have to go and enroll them in the city that you have moved to. And we're gonna be doing all the paperwork for them no matter what. But that being said, it's to go and be kind to that senior that has gone to the school for how many years, and that they can go and they can walk down the aisle with their classmates, or they didn't get the points to go and graduate, and they can go and they can be at the gymnasium or at the auditorium, and said, I did the summer program and I was allowed to go and complete that, and just to go and have that kind of feeling of accomplishment.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bernard. Back to Ms. Macklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did remember. I'm wondering if it was discussed in the last meeting, because Ms. Horty brought it up, what the consequence is. Is it an automatic denial if we're not notified within those 5 days?
Mr. McCarthy.
I believe we kind of did talk about that. I don't know, I'll defer to the superintendent.
Superintendent.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Macklin, the current policy for students residing outside of Malden is that our residency policy is that students move out of the city, they're to inform and they're to withdraw and go to their new city, enroll in their new district of residence within 5 days. And if they do not inform, and if it comes to the attention of the district administration, then they'll be withdrawn immediately. And I just wanted to just mention that I know earlier in the year there was a circumstance with a student, I believe who was an 8th grader, where there was an appeal for some forbearance with regard to the residency policy, and the committee opted not to do that. But in that conversation, I believe that's when this concern for seniors in high school came about. And I believe there was a senior in high school about that same time that inquired about possibly staying on, but the machinery of the policy and just the process that needed to be followed to do this in a thoughtful way, the subcommittee felt that it was better not to rush it and to make sure that things were done properly. And so that student ended up moving on to another city. If I might, the member Horty's question about the finances. So actually the way things work is the enrollment is based on our enrollment on October 1st does inform the Chapter 70 funding for the following fiscal year. So it isn't for that fiscal year that the students enroll, but for the following year. So everything's always a year delayed. So I just wanted to clarify that. I think that was a question you had.
Okay, Ms. Macklin, you all set?
Yes,
okay. Ms. Horty, and then we'll try to wrap this up.
I mean, to me, then all the more reason to do this. I'm just a little, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little frank with you guys. I just don't like the way that this is making us look. This is making us look like we're out to get people. It's not making us look like we're kind. It's not making us look family-centered. It's not sitting right with me. I think just from the way that I've been commenting on this, you know how I'm going to vote on it. Again, I know everybody gets their vote. That's why we're here, right? But I think we're focusing on a tiny little sliver of a little bit of money and a little bit of a situation that might turn off a much larger group of people and might make people have feelings about us and our policy writing in a way that I don't think that's what we're going for. So I don't think the policy aligns with our vision and our goals for the way we want to communicate with the community and the families in the district. And I just want to be of note saying that, because I think it is that important. And I'm sorry, if I have an 8th grader who's gone to school here from K to 8, I voted against that too, if I remember correctly. That broke my heart. This, you know, that's a natural break point in schools. I know we don't have middle schools, but we do have K to 8s. That's a big deal. I just don't understand everybody's, I mean, I heard your rationale. My heart doesn't understand it. My brain understands it, but my heart doesn't understand it.
Okay, very good, thank you for that. If I might, from the chair, from my perspective, all things being equal, we shouldn't be doing anything. The fact that we're taking this step makes us an outlier on districts around us. If, you know, you look back to what happened mid-year, when someone was out of our city for months on end, and we just happened to find out about it, that is not right. That's taken away from our district. So the fact that we're doing this at all, I believe, makes us more compassionate than other districts around us are. So I think we, from my vantage point, we take this step, and then Ms. Horty, if what you're saying comes to fruition, we can always go back and amend the policy, but to try to perfect it at this moment, I wouldn't support that. I think this is a baby step that addresses the most tenuous situation for someone on where they are in their educational career. I mean, if you start getting into other grades, where does it stop? You know, 8th grade, 6th grade, kindergarten, someone's going to 1st grade, you want them to leave with their kindergartner friends. I mean, it's, again, we shouldn't be doing anything, but the fact that we are, I think, hopefully signifies that we are a compassionate committee and a compassionate district. Because I don't think you're going to find most districts doing what we might be doing here tonight. So with that being said, you made the motion, you seconded it. Let's call the roll.
Mayor Christensen?
Yes.
Mr. Drummey? Yes. Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Spatafora?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin?
Yes.
Ms. Horty? No. Mr. Gray?
Okay.
Mr. Bernard? Yes. Ms. Roseberg?
Okay, so that one is 7-1. Okay, 7-1 in favor. All right, now everyone, let's go down to personal privilege. This is a moment for members to let us know what's happening in their respective wards. We'll go left to right. My left, your right. Let's start with Mr. Drummey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, happy Teacher Appreciation Week to all the teachers out there. You're doing a great job. Please keep it up. We're trying to help you. That being said, the PTO at the Ferryway is doing a happy vibe, or a good vibe. If you have a teacher that has gone over and above or something that the administration hasn't done, there's a link on the PTO Instagram and Facebook, and there's also there's an email that you could do it too. You can send just a good vibe. It's a little gift saying, hey, we appreciate all you've done. The PTO's put together a bunch of different things. If you go on their website, you'll see a bunch of little bags. It's just a way of saying, hey, thank you for all you've done for us. So give it a shot. If you have someone, like I said, you want to do it, go for it. Second of all, the superintendent was there last week. He had the Ferryway International Food Night. I understand you couldn't make it, Mr. Mayor. That's okay. He took 2 plates home for you, so you're all set. They did a great job as usual. It's good to have it back. It was away for a while, and they've done a good job with it, as always. Coming up on Wednesday, May 7th, we're having the Walk, Bike, and Roll to School, which is being put on by the Safe Routes to School. They're meeting at 72 Ashland Street and Lincoln Commons at 7:40, and they'll have groups walking to the Ferryway starting at 7:45 and I was told there might be someone along the way that they might be able to wave to, but I'm not going to give his name, but he's chairman of this committee. Next, on Thursday, May 8th, Malden CPAC is having their meeting at the Ferryway School Library. If you want to attend, fine. If online, you go to the Malden CPAC. They have a link you can hook up to if you want to do it online, if you can't make it there in person. PTO and the SSC meeting is on Tuesday the 15th. Via Google Meets, again, go to the PTO Ferryway website to get the link in. Ice Cream Fridays is back, starting May 16th and runs to June 6th at the Ferryway. $2 cash only. And from what I said, they went through a lot of ice cream last year, so hey, good luck to them. Field days are going to be June 2nd and June 2nd and June 3rd. K through 4 will be June 2nd. 5 through 8 will be June 3rd. Last but not least, happy to Cinco de Mayo, but that's okay. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and the Mother's Day breakfast will be held this Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30 at Anthony's. Councilor Crowe from Ward 1 is putting it on, as always, and if you want to bring your mother out for a Mother's Day breakfast, it doesn't cost you anything. Donations are accepted if you'd like, but come on down and do it. And I had something about a Ferryway dance, but I lost it, so I apologize for that, but I'm sure the PTO will have it on their website. So, happy Mother's Day, happy Cinco de Mayo. Nobody brought tequila. Have a good night. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I knew I should have cut you off just 30 seconds ago. All right, anybody else? Mr. Bernard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just some brief announcements from the Salem Lid. To second what Mr. Drummy said is that this week is Staff Appreciation Week, and Ms. Van wanted to go in and send a thank you to the PTO for all the delicious food and snacks of the week. And on behalf of the administration, they want to thank each and every one of the staff for everything that they go and they do. And I as well to every teacher that we go and that goes and serves our kids. You do a heck of a job, and I hear nothing but good news from parents that talk to me. On Wednesday, May 7th, there is a 11 a.m. dismissal, so please make sure that parents, please pick your child up at 11 a.m. And the last day of school is Friday, June 13th at 11 a.m. Just a thing from me, unfortunately, due to my other job's commitments, I'm not going to be able to go and attend the graduation this year, so I'm just going to go and send out a hearty congratulations to our senior class. I wish I could be there. It's a fun time, and honestly, it makes me proud to go and watch you all walking through the stadium and you know, seeing people that I've known now for years. Being able to go and pick up that piece of paper. So, again, hearty congratulations to them.
Very good. Ms. Macklin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few announcements from the ELC and Principal Lawrence. Again, this is Teacher Educator Appreciation Week. The ELC will honor all of the wonderful educators throughout the week, celebrating the hard work and dedication of our educators. The second announcement is the Color Fun event will take place on Saturday, June 7th from 2 to 4. The cost per person is $5. The event will take place at the ELC parking lot, which will be closed. This is a super messy but big fun event for all our students and their families. Principal Lawrence did attach a flyer, so it does look like a lot of fun. It says, wear a white t-shirt and be showered in colored powder, music, and fun. Again, that's Sunday, May 18th from 2 to 4. And finally, the ELC Moving On ceremony will take place Wednesday, June 11th and Thursday, June 12th. Save the date flyers have been sent home. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Macklin. Over to Ms. Woody.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, thank you to all of our teachers during Appreciation Week. I think that goes without saying. We appreciate you not only this week, but all the time. Also, a belated happy Administrative Assistance Day to Miss Megan, who we all know is the glue in the Forestdale main office, who holds it all together for everybody in that building. So Miss Megan, you are loved and appreciated if you didn't already know. The next PTO meeting is Wednesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. on Google Meets. More information can be found on the PTO Facebook page. The PTO is sponsoring the K-2 Spring Fling on Friday, May 30th. More information to follow. Save the dates. The Spring Chorale concert will be on Wednesday, June 4th at 1, and the Spring Instrumental concert will be on Thursday, June 5th at 1. The concerts will be recorded so families and community members can see after the fact if they weren't able to attend in person. The Drama Club is getting ready for their spring production of The Little Mermaid. I have seen some amazing props and costumes being put together already, so I cannot wait. It will be May 21st and May 22nd at 6 p.m. in the auditorium. We look forward to seeing you all there.
Very good. And Ms. Spatafora.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have announcements for Ms. Rose Zyberg in her absence tonight. So coming out of Linden, again, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and there will be an ice cream truck for teachers on Wednesday and lunch from Santa Fe on Friday. Wednesday is Safe Routes to School. The mayor will be at Hawkridge Delta at the corner of Beach and Lawrence Street. Teachers will be at Steve's Corner and be at those locations at 7:40 to step off at 7:45 for their walk to school. Congratulations to the Model UN at Linden. 20 students competed, and out of 12 awards given out, Linden won 4 of the 12 middle school Model UN awards, better than any other school attending. So congratulations to them. Art Music STEM Night is May 20th, 4 to 6, and help will be needed to set up the displays prior to that date, so please reach out. Special Olympics is June 6th, and Linden Field Day is June 10th with a rain date of June 11th. Volunteers will be needed throughout the day, and they are, I guess, still seeing if they can do a tie-dye shirt event for the Field Day shirt, so watch for news about that. Kindergarten moving on ceremony is June 5th at 1:15, and these will be in the individual classrooms. And the 8th grade moving on ceremony is June 12th at 10 a.m. with a dance following that night from 6 to 8 p.m. And then on BB, May 7th again is Walk and Bike to School Day. I will be at City Hall at 7:40 a.m., stepping off at 7:45. Counselor Linehan will lead a group from Amridge Park, the corner of Savin and Highland Ave, same time, stepping off at 7:45. We already got Malden CPAC. May 8th, Salem Wood Food Festival at 2:30 p.m. Sunday, May 18th at Salem Wood School, 1 to 4 p.m., Bright Minds, Quiet Spaces. I am co-hosting this with the City of Malden as well as the Malden Police Department. Fire will be there. It's a sensory-friendly celebration for our neurodiverse youth and families, which will include community resources, sensory playrooms, snacks, and much more. Friday, May 9th, at 4 p.m. will be the dedication of the James Jimmy Tello baseball field at Kierstead Park with a barbecue. And then Friday, May 9th, a fundraiser to benefit the Malden baseball team. If you eat at Santa Fe between 2:30 and 9:30 p.m., tell them that it's for Malden baseball. The team will earn 30% of sales. And a big congratulations, I'm a baseball mom over here, to Malden baseball team right now, which are pretty much, I see Freck out there. We're like the best of the best right now. So, congratulations. They still have games, but they're killing it. I mean, the Globe can't get enough to write about them. So I just want to give them a big congrats. Happy Mother's Day, and a special happy birthday to my amazing granddaughter, who is 2 years old today. So Cinco de Emerson May.
That's great. All right, there you have it. So now think Mr. Gray's good, right?
Oh, Mr. Gray, I'm sorry.
I
Do
think
you-
he's good.
Because I feel like there could be a Maplewood Fest coming up, and I don't think we can hear you. If you want to try your mic.
Yeah, can everybody hear me?
No, we can't hear you. For some reason, City Council
My
was having this
microphone-
issue on Tuesday, and they couldn't hear.
I have
Testing.
it. It's, the Maplewood Festival will be held May 18th, 10 to 4.
May 17th.
We got you covered, Joe. Okay, thumbs up.
All right, everyone. Now we'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion?
Motion by Ms. Spatafora, seconded by Mr. Bernard. Let's call the roll.
Mayor Christensen?
Yes.
Mr. Drumming? Yes. Mr. McCarthy? Yes. Ms. Spatafora?
Yes.
Ms. Macklin? Yes. Ms. Horty? Yes. Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Bernard? Yes. Ms. Roseberg?
All right, that carries unanimously. School committee will now be in executive session.
All right. All right, school committee's hereby called to order, or back in order, or whatever it is. Do I have any motions? Motion to adjourn, made by Ms. Macklin. Seconded by Mr. Bernard. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. School committee's hereby adjourned.